So you never thought about rapping during all this time being around him doing his rap?
I didn't want to do. I was there for I wanted to do something in the business. That's what I was there for. I wasn't trying to make a beat. I wasn't trying to write a song. I wasn't trying to. I was there basically with him.
Right.
Cause that was the plan.
Right.
Stick with me through the good, the bad, and the ugly, little bro. We good.
And did you always think that he was going to end up giving you like a bigger or better opportunity, and then it just kind of never came?
I mean, there was plenty of times that he could have gave me bigger opportunities and made me role manager and made me something, but he didn't. He always bring somebody. He was the type of that bring somebody else in to do your job, but then you would have to end up doing your job anyway because these folks don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like he used to always try to bring in a personal assistant to do something or something like that, but you bringing somebody in that don't know what to do, and you automatically calling on me to come and do it because I know what to do.
Right.
With no hesitation. What you need, boom, boom, done. Let's move.
Okay, so one of the craziest beefs that sort of underlines that whole time period was the Rick Ross thing. Like, from your perspective, when did that officially become a real concern?
It was never a concern. Not in my eyes. Not in my eyes, because I didn't feel Rick Ross and there was no threat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wasn't no threat. Like, the way we moved, man, then nobody want to with us.
Right.
If Rick Ross really got a pass, cause Jeezy really had security with him when they ran into each other. If it had been anybody else around there, that shit probably would have went so the other way. It would just wouldn't been no fake jewelry being snatched. It would have been motherfuckers probably going to the hospital.
Right.
You know, when that was happening inside there, you know, they was outside getting on gunplay at the same time that shit was happening in there.
Right, but just to go from the beginning, did this all really crack off just because Rick Ross rapped?
I think it was egos.
But it was the BMF beat that kind of really sparked shit, right?
It could be that. I think it was, you know what, I give it that.
Okay.
Because at the time he did that, yeah, I give it that because at the time he did that, Jeezy and Meechie's at odds. So, yeah, so he came with that. But
so you think Rick Ross was kind of trolling and trying to provoke the situation, though? Because he is a sort of master of this sort of shit. You know, you look at people like Rick Ross and 50, and they're just very good at like pulling the strings publicly to sort of orchestrate whatever they want to take place with who likes each other and who doesn't and whatnot.
To me, the Jeezy and Rick Ross beef was really some monkey shit to me. Like, I really didn't even, you know, that shit was just like some music shit. You know, that shit really wasn't no, you know, street shit. Mm-hmm. But even though we got on niggas' asses though, you know, I think Torch touched the ground 5 times in New York.
What do you mean?
When we ran to them.
Torch?
Yeah, that used to be signed to NLG.
Oh, okay.
You know, that was back then when they was all signed to him. Gunplay, Torch, when they was doing that. Meek Mill and them weren't even signed to him yet.
Right, it was before that era.
Before that era, yeah.
That is kind of wild to think there was that whole era.
Look how that's
Rick Ross had me listening to Wale and Meek Mill and shit, and I thought that shit was so hard.
We was Rick Ross fans.
Right.
Like, that shit was, that's why I said that music shit crazy, because we was listening to all that shit, man. Riding all day listening to Ross.
Right.
Shit was hard.
Still to this day. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I listen to Ross now, yeah.
Right. But like, you know, even like the craziest beef of like modern times, the last couple of years in terms of rappers is like the NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk, King Von thing. And there's mad footage of King Von and Lil Durk fucking with YoungBoy and listening to Quando Rondo and stuff, even though it ended up being that Quando Rondo's homie's the one who killed King Von and shit. And it's just weird with Instagram stories and shit to be able to go look at shit and be like, whoa, they were like real fans of this shit like 6 months before people started getting killed over the problems.
Right.
Yeah.
I really I really only listen to Dirk.
Really?
I listen to Dirk. That's the only one I listen to from Chicago. Him and Vine.
Mm. Anybody else? Like who do you listen to in terms of the younger artists these days? Or is hip hop feel kind of dry to you at this point?
It's
hard not to have that feeling as you get older.
I really be listening to. I listen to a few people from my city. You know what I'm saying? I listen to a lot of people from. I got a lot of Cali. I like a lot of Cali music.
Okay.
Savvy Third.
Oh wow, man.
I love Savvy Third shit.
Shout out Savvy.
You know, I always gonna love my boy 211 shit.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, I fuck with a lot of Cali. Mozzie.
Shout out Mozzie.
I fuck with Mozzie. I fuck with Lavish D too.
Okay.
I fuck with the Sack.
You find yourself watching the documentaries about them too and shit?
Yeah, I be all on YouTube watching that shit. Shit be funny. That shit be real funny.
Right. Yeah, that shit been quiet for a few years now though. It's like the younger generation hasn't been making as much noise up in that NorCal scene and shit.
Right. Yeah, I fuck with that Cali music.
Right. Okay, but so just to put it in perspective though, because it's like we don't really have that many like hip hop award shows where like it just seems like people are probably kind of scared to put that many people in the same room like that.
Hip hop has changed. You can't put a bunch of fools in one room that been talking about killing each other and stepping on graves, and you can't appetite for destruction.
Right. But did it occur to you guys before that BET Awards, like, oh, this is going to be a fucking tinderbox where this could turn into anything and we need to be super, super on point? Like, was that the vibe?
No, that shit, no. That was always the vibe. Wherever we moved, we was always on point.
Mm-hmm.
Always. That was just a part of moving. That's. But nah, the BET Awards, nah, it wasn't. That shit was unexpected. That shit shouldn't have happened. I'm just gonna put it like that. That shit shouldn't have happened. It was really some monkey shit, and that's why I'm glad it didn't escalate to what it really could escalate to.
Right.
So.
But you said that it only happened because Jeezy tried to just go to the bathroom on some regular shit and just ended up running into everybody?
Yeah, he went to the bathroom because, he was sitting up front. We was all in the back. The crew was in the back, so I guess he wanted to go to the bathroom, but most of the security was over to the side anyway.
Uh-huh.
So they ended up going to the back, going to the bathroom, and they said they ran into the nigga. And then we got word, and we was like, what? And, But then after that, it wasn't nothing.
So that it actually ended after that? Like,
yeah, that Rick Ross beef ended before it started.
Right.
That shit was over with.
How did? But
we probably was at Rick Ross' house for a party months later, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So the actual fight takes place, and then
it wasn't even no fight. It was just, I think some words were said. Rick Ross got too close, and security pushed him back, and ended up grabbing his chains off.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. It was over.
Yeah, because that Dread dude, I seen the clip of him talking about taking the chains off his neck. Like,
yeah, Dread, my man, Dread.
It was crazy because the way he's describing it is like, it sounded like him taking the chains off his neck was like very unnecessary in that moment. Like he should have been just stopping the fight or trying to pull somebody off, but then instead he just like relieved him of his jewelry. Like when he's telling the story, it just sounds like a wild thing to do in that moment.
I think Dread was thinking about some money.
Yeah.
What can I get for this jewelry?
Oh, really? That's the kind of bodyguard you need, I guess.
Yeah. But, I think it was just some spur of the moment type shit. And it was police and everything right there. So
right.
If you watch the footage, you would see the police and shit right there. So it was just it really was just some let me get this nigga away from my client type shit.
Uh-huh.
But since you want to play, I'm gonna take your chains.
Right.
I'm gonna get some kind of we gonna say we did something.
But what happened to the chains?
They was all fake, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think he told that story.
Rick Ross?
No, Dredd told that story. He said one of the
right,
chains
he did
was
say
real.
that, yeah.
He said he went and pawned it when he bought an AK.
Right. So the fake chains were still worth something?
Nah, one chain wasn't fake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, do you think that was normal at that time? Was Jeezy ever wearing fake jewelry to events and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I can not to events. No, he wasn't wearing no fake jewelry to events. Definitely was going to see Fezzy. That's a jeweler in Atlanta, but
okay.
Nah, Jeezy wasn't wearing no fake. He probably wore some fake shit later on in the career. I do remember him having some old fake Versace chain type shit, some gold shit that was just too big and all that. It was fake, I think. It wasn't real.
It's just weird because now we live in the era where there's pages like fake watch buster and fake jewelry buster and all this kind of shit. And like I've seen it like where people just like really think that they're out here like looking good for many, many years online, and then one of these pages just posts up like, hey, your whole fucking watch collection is fake. And it's like for somebody like Rick Ross, that feels like it would be such a risk to his identity as this rich rapper motherfucker that it's like kind of hard for me to imagine a rapper actually doing the fake chain thing in this day and age.
Right.
Even though obviously
but they do costume jewelry.
They do?
Yeah, for shows and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do that shit. Them real diamonds cost a lot.
Yeah.
You know, they be wearing all these chains, that shit costs a lot. But that shit really don't cost a lot because that shit ain't real for real.
Really?
Not in my eyes.
I gotta fucking find out more about that because that just seems like crazy liability to like be seen out in public with your fucking with a bunch of fake shit on.
But you know, we came up in the era before social media, so
you could get away with a lot more.
Now you get away with a lot more. It wasn't even it was real shit back then. Like when we first started, wasn't no 2003, 4, 5, wasn't no Facebook. Like niggas they was really wearing the Rolexes and the Jacobs and all that shit was real. I remember going to New York with them, going in the Jacobs store and they going in back rooms and secret doors and shit. Like, but now I don't believe all these niggas jewelry is real.
I feel like with the internet, it's got to be so much harder to pass off the fake jewelry. I've seen a lot of people pushing the shit of like rappers borrowing stuff from jewelers to like wear a couple times and then they just give it back.
Or might not take it back and the jeweler got to sue him.
Yeah, well, that's when you find out about these
that's when
deals.
you find out about it.
Hey everybody, we just hit 600K. We're trying to get to 700K, so smack the like button and subscribe. Appreciate y'all.